The Fleet Mag Celebrity Corner with Megastar and MzMinah BrownDivah. Today's special guest, Ricco Barrino. It is thefleetmag.com. I am MzMinah BrownDivah, and we also have Megastar here. Today, our special guest that we have with us is Mr. Ricco Barrino.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for being here with us today.
Tell the Fleet Mag Nation, man, just a little bit about yourself. Where are you originally from?
Originally from a town called High Point, North Carolina, in the middle of the East Coast. From Connecticut down, actually one of the low-key richest cities. We have the furniture market, and we have the hub for Rolls Royce. So I come from a little small city, college town. And my sister and I, I ended up leaving the nest first. After playing football, I was recruited to go to NC State. It wasn't working out for me. Again, being a young man, I had to see how life really, how I was going to treat you if you didn't take it serious. So I ended up doing music and leaving football alone. And going from there, just following the family business. I ended up in Atlanta for quite a while, over 20 years, just like, as a young boy, going through the game and just really putting my footwork down.
That was leading to my next question. When did you actually get into music and knew this is what you wanted to do?
Well, I was always in it. It was always really wasn't forced, but it was kind of one of those things where you was expected, especially if you had talent. In my household, my media household, my dad's brothers and sisters could really sing, and absolutely. I had his nephews, which was his dad's sons, which is Casey and JoJo from Jodeci. You know what I'm saying? So I was around a lot of the influence and watching my dad, his older brother, sing in gospel groups, as well as watching my uncles. Watching them sing. This was well before Motown, because of course I wasn't born, but they had a deal back in the late 60s, early 70s, I believe it was, with Holland Dozier over there in the Motown era, and Ricco Barrino brothers. So it was like this family history. So I was just kind of born into it. I really didn't take it serious until serious about 16, 17. But at the time, again, my first love then was like football. I was good at it. But I think the fact of being, young, handsome man, who was a good athlete, a great athlete, and you were good at vocals, it kind of stirred up trouble. So in the end, it basically kind of derailed me from football because of the trouble that came with it.
Well, listening to all of the musical background that you have, what would you say over the years has been the best advice that you've been given in this music industry?
Stay persistent. You know what I mean? No matter what, because again, everybody has opinions. But, to be able to look, and even some of the biggest people with biggest accolades, they had to have their own path. You know what I mean? So, and they had to avoid any naysayer or any person with a very strong opinion. So I would say, ignore some of the side conversation and just stay persistent at what you do or what you believe in. You may not be the best, but you will sharpen your craft behind persistence.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Now, when it comes to your writing and your music, what is your actual creative process?
I have many processes. For me, I don't write in terms of pen and pad or even today's method, which is the phone. For me, it's more the canvas, listening to the canvas, getting a visual of what goes over the canvas, what I feel goes over the canvas, and even seeing the song done in the video before anything, just seeing different scenes as to how I put together whatever it is I'm doing. Being a multi-talented writer, meaning in terms of writing gospel, R&B, country, You know, God's giving me that ability to be a chameleon. Sometimes it's a curse, but just being able to do that, you're able to kind of open doors due to that creative process. So I like to just kind of let myself be free. And normally I'll start off if I really got something going, I'll hum it. Sometimes I'll just freestyle it all the way through. But in order to sometimes have a good record, you kind of hum it and go with your vowel sounds in order to figure out what words are gonna come. And you just go back over and put the lingo over it.
Okay. Now I got a question for you, brother. How do you think today's music compares to the music, from when you first got into the business?
When I first got into the business, the music was a little more colorful. Coming up, listening to the Baby Faces and the Devontaes from Jodeci, listen to my cousins and how they put together vocal arrangements. There was a lot of thick color, especially in the 90s. Up to now, it's a little easier because the engineer, he can really make you or break you. And you don't have to really have a lot of color. More so now, if you listen, it's a lot of you get a lot of international appeal when it comes to color. Talk about the Fridays, you talk about Afro beats and stuff like that. We talk about terms of a choir sound. And that's what's kind of like the records that are really standing out. But for the most part, less color, more 808s, more intimacy in terms of vocal. I feel like a lot of the artists now are really trying to, they're doing tricks with their vocal to make themselves stand out, and that's dope. I feel like there is no more, as I can say, SANGER singers. You got singers, but not singers. Like my sister, like my sister may be the last. Myself, you got them, but they're in bigger and different genres. You know what I mean? Or they're on the other side, if you will. If you talking mainstream or you talking skin tone, you know what I mean? And so that's the funny part, because you have a bunch of guys from I could name, you guys know, and they on the other side, they killing it,
right?
Because we're such a competitive race, a competitive culture. It's almost like been there, done that. So it's like now we're trying to figure out what's new, and popularity overrides skill in this daytime. Back in the 80s and the 90s and the 70s and the 60s, it was about your skill set. It was like, why he's my favorite or she's my favorite because they could do this with their vocal. Now it's like they're my favorite because did you see what they did on such and such on TikTok? Did you see it? You know what I'm saying? So
stuff like that.
Now I got a two-part question, man, and then that's talking about going and diving into the popularity things like that. How do you feel social media has impacted the music business, versus, now from when it didn't exist? And also, do you think social media makes it easier for today's artists to gain a bigger fan base?
I feel like social media is a very big instrument, rather it be good or bad. I feel social media will catapult you if you use it right. You know what I mean? And if you stay persistent, again, that word comes with persistence. I feel like social media gives the man who couldn't be heard 20 years ago a chance, because we all know there are some people when we was coming up, when we were younger, that we felt like should have had a shot and they don't. You know what I mean? So I feel like, to me, social media is a television station that allows a platform for each and every person in this world. I think at this point, you have to ask yourself, how hard are you willing to work? To me, it's one of those things that will show if you're willing to put in work, or if you just have a talent and you just kind of really sitting on it. The bad part is the person who's willing to work is generally the person that doesn't have the talent. They have a gimmick, and they're unapologetic and unafraid to speak their mind, rather it be good or bad. I mean, because classic case, Charleston White. But Charleston White, if you break it down, he has a lot. There's a lot of truth in it. You feel, or when Cat Williams broke the internet when he came out. So this is a platform for a bunch of truths. But I think it's just about how you use it. Some people use it for bad, and some people know and they have the talent to use it for good. And I think it's about the work you put in.
Over the years, we watch ourselves grow, and I want to know, what do you see? Has you changed, not just in the industry, but you personally? And what has your evolution been like in this music game?
For me, is understanding now it's okay to go where I always, needed to be. We're talking in terms of bigger sound. When you first get in the game, you just want to be light. So you're kind of doing things that you're good at, but you worried about what the consumer wants. And that's fine, giving them what they want. But at some point, you have to learn to kind of have a fine line of who you really are. So now I've gotten into me and who I really am and what I'm really going through, and being able to put that in music. Because sometimes you ask, well, is this going to work? Well, what I'm going through is, if I talk about it, are they going to listen? And that's up to God and organic fans to decide. And I've gotten to the point where it's like, I don't have to have 1 million people. I just need to have the right ones who are willing to listen, to let me know that my job on this earth is being received before I leave. And I think that's success alone for me, because a lot of times we get caught up in the hype of fame and fortune, and we forgot about legacy. What did you leave? What did you leave behind? You know what I mean? Rather if it's a ballad or something to bop to. So I hope that the new records that I'm able to come out with, because I kind of got off guard. I was just telling my business partner, I said, look, we got to put out a summer record. I love putting out summer records in this time, and I haven't really been heard from. And I actually got a call from a guy who was in Vegas, and they were in Jamaica at the time. And he was like, yo, I'm your biggest fan. One of my friends put him on. And he starts going through my life, and I'm like, wow. He starts saying things like, a lot of people don't know that you're the most talented one in the family. And indeed I am. Like, I just got a call from my cousin Casey. My sister talks about it all the time. It's just the world has to catch up when we talk about in terms of writing, production. And so at this point, with those skill sets and being able to do arrangements and et cetera, I just want to use that to create the legacy to where you guys will be able to just really respect the craft. Kind of like where Anderson Park, and I'm going, now this whole time, you surrounded by people in Atlanta or in the South, and it's almost like what they say, the trap. You get trapped in the strip club. And I had to realize it. I talked to God, and I got on my knees and was like, okay, God, what is you want me to do? Because right now at this point, I'm just doing what I see. So evolution has allowed me to wake up and be woke into as to using my craft for the greater good.
Yeah. Now, at this point, bro, what do you feel is the most challenging part about being a recording artist? What is most challenging? Because I know you wear many hats. You said arranger, producer, writer, all those components.
Honestly, it's being able to have a team around you that can work at your pace and have a like mindset. Yeah. I think for me, it's not the craft, it's not the willingness on my part. Is being able to have a person that understands you, especially in the Carolinas. The only thing about the Carolinas that are different than Atlanta, you find those people. Every day somebody wants to work. Every day they want, hey, come to the house. So that's kind of like, you walk a fine line, because you'll mess around and your music will be everywhere. You don't put so many seeds out. You're like, oh, I forgot about this record. you come to a North, come back, and you start setting on shop, and then you start to realize that everybody may not be on the same wave. So it's just about finding that fine line to figure out who, for me, who's going to put in just as much work as I am.
Absolutely, and that's very, very important. Now, out of all of your collaborations, man, who in the game right now would you like to collaborate with, or is there a past or present person right now that you would love to just kill it with?
If I had to, in terms of like, you mean like even if they gone?
Yeah, past or present, brother. Yeah, past or present.
That's a good one, man. Like I could go, if we talking in terms of like GOATs and legends, I would love to like, I like to do one like with Al Green just to see.
Ooh.
Just see where we at. Al, if we talking young ones, I would love to team up with like a Post Malone.
Yeah, yeah.
What's everybody starts to kind of sort of make comparison. What's his name? What's the guy with all the tattoos? The white guy.
I think that's Post Malone. Post Malone got all
not Post. What's the other guy? The new guy that everybody he sings country.
It's a new guy.
He sings
heavy set guy. What is his name?
Oh, Jelly Roll.
Oh,
Jelly Roll.
Yeah, Jelly Roll.
Do some stuff just to, you know what I mean? I haven't did one with Future yet, you know what I mean? But like I'm really starting to like come around and like sew up everything. I know the MMG camp, I just did something. I like to plant one and just land an official one with Ross. Me and Snoop, I done did, Snoop. So like I would just say anybody who is themselves and they're creative. Me and Anderson Paak could do a crazy one. Even like doing a hook for Kendrick or just teaming up, just stuff like that. J. Cole, getting some real reps in with Cole. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes, and I think that's some of the names that you named are amazing, but you've worked with so many great people. I want to talk a little bit about the signing and the labels. I know early on you had signed to like Grand Hustle. You had done some different things. That was super dope. You got songs with T.I. You also had moved on. What I read about you is that, we're in Chicago. And one of your albums, you give so much, you paid for R. Kelly, you got the
play, yeah.
When I saw it, like 2012 play.
Yeah,
so when I'm looking at, you started out your first song, this Bubble Gum from the Strip Club. You got inspiration from Chicago's own R. Kelly. But then when I sat down and I listened to songs like Pray For Me, it brings me to a different place. Now that's know that you are looking to reach different people and different elements. Is that what you do to create them? Because that's a big difference from those club bangers to making such an inspirational song that can touch somebody. Because I lost my husband going on 2 years ago. So rest in peace to your child. It's rest in peace to my husband. It's like we deal with these things every day. And that was really, really touched me. And I want to know, what was your inspiration on making that?
For me, just like who you named the GOAT, even though some people have big demons. A lot of the geniuses and the greats, they have big demons. So it's important. Let me say this. I look at myself like a crock pot. You know what I mean? I'm real slow with mine, and I wouldn't trade my journey for anybody, the ups and the downs. In terms of Kels, I got to be able to spend time with him and be able to write and have him, give me the biggest hug and go, wow, like you're incredible. Even shed tears. So for me, that's might have been one of my highest moments. And watch how quick he comes up with things.
Legendary.
And I wanted to be able to do that as well. I wanted to be able to give you club bangers and then give you something for the soul. Something, if you were going through something like a crock pot should. Something that cooks slow and it has substance. Nothing that's processed and you go to the window and then 20 to an hour later, you like, I need something else to eat. I wanted something that would stick to you. I also wanted to be able to test myself like a Kales, and be able to, in the terms of being able to give you, if we say, all right, so if I gave you another illustration, Denzel, when Denzel grabs a role, he makes you believe in the role. When you watch a Denzel movie, you know that he's not going to disappoint. I wanted to be able to do that. The people that could really do that I've seen, that were writers, because we got a lot of artists who not writers. Chris Brown, they don't write. But when you talk in terms of Kels, right, they just know how to, even my sister, they know how to deliver. But we talking about the writer being able to deliver. I wanted to be able to do that type of stuff. And R. Kelly, we seen Bob Marley do it. We seen Al Green do it. You seen, there are people who've come, Sam Cooke, they fade away. And when you hear their vocals from I Was Born by the River and a Little Team, that's something that'll never die. And I want to be able to do that. So one day I could be on somebody's wall, on Donny Hathaway. You got to think, back then, Donny Hathaway was huge, but he was still like the underdog. You know what I mean? But his music still lives on. So I just wanted to. Yeah. So that's what I wanted.
Yeah, who did you listen to actually growing up, or who did you listen to that helped inspire you?
Everything.
Because you name a lot of the greats. I know your diversity is crazy.
Man, I listen to everything. I listen to classic rock from Queen, Led Zeppelin, the Eagles, Black Sabbath, Guns N' Roses. I was like, you know what I mean? Then I would go Randy Travis, Reba McEntire. I was everywhere. Gospel. Sam Cooke, the Volunteers. I mean, just the list goes on. The Dixie Hummingbirds, the Mighty Clouds of Joy. You know what I'm saying? The Clark Sisters. Then I would go over and we talking rap. We went from Ron DMC. I listened to it all. You know what I mean? All the way up to today, which gives me, that's what helps me with evolution. Me and Jazzy Faye talk about it all the time. We look at ourselves like a person shopping out of season. You got to shop a season before. But if you keep shopping in season, you're always trying to play catch up. So I'm always shopping for the next season in order to be ready when it comes.
Yeah, man, you got to do that with the kids too. Man, I had an older lady around me that always was like, when it's summer, I'm ready to buy the summer stuff for the kids. And she like, man, I'm getting the school clothes for the fall. You know what I mean? So
there you go.
I learned that before, like that is how you're supposed to move. You got a lot of great tactics behind you and a lot of knowledge behind you. Go ahead, Mega, because I'm ready to talk a little bit about the music.
I was, because I was just like, man, I just want to know what is the most memorable moment for you. You know what I'm saying? What is the most favorite song you like to perform when you booked it, you on the stage in front of that crowd that you really just kill when you know that part is coming? What is that song?
Man, y'all already know California is like, because the people sing it for you. I had a chance to we went number 3. We're about to go platinum. We're in gold right now. So nice. Yeah, so that honestly, pray for me. Like I get people from all around, inmates and everybody who says, that's it. So that touches me. Being able to hear, like, even when I did Futuristic Love, and hear how people, like, it still goes viral at times. Yeah. And people like, how many of y'all remember this? Seeing those things, those records that won't die. Even You Can Have Whatever You Like. Just seeing those records that won't die, that I had a part of. For me, those are great accomplishments. So yeah.
I love that. Now I've heard you say your sister a few times, but we haven't said her name because this is we know in some families sometimes it can be that trail of things that people are always looking for. You have been making such a big name for your own self. I think now hearing that so much musical background in your family, I'm
Yes.
just honored to know that you guys are making this continuous music. And I'm looking forward to actually, having this music dropped right here. Like you say, you breaking new records for the summer. And the Fleet DJs are the ones that are always going to be there to break those records. And we also going to invite you to come out for the Fleet DJs conference that is coming up in July. Yes, July 18th. 22nd, we'll
Yes,
be in
Orlando,
Florida.
Okay.
Yes, we're gonna get you over some details, man, and we would love to have you out as a special guest. It's gonna be a great networking event, and plus the music. Now we want to talk a little bit about the song "Let's Dance." Now, one thing that we do notice with a lot of mainstream artists is that they do a lot of acting. So I see that you have done some acting, and even in this video, I was like, you definitely
Yeah.
you played your role. How do you
Thank
feel
you.
about acting in general, and what was it like taking care of the Let's Dance video?
I look at acting as like a second nature thing because when you're in the booth, that's what you're doing. You have to become, you have to have that character. That's like, okay, again, going back, touching on R. Kelly when he did the Trapped in the Closet and all. Like, you feel me? Like you had to become the character in order to sell what you're trying to sell. So for me, it came second nature. Currently trying to let that be some future endeavors. Me being able to get into some roles, and try to see if I can make my way to the big screen. But I definitely had a ball doing it.
Nice.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
To me, huh?
Mhm.
Okay, now let's talk. Still back on music. What new music are you currently working on right now?
There's a few things I can't talk about. Just
Okay.
know I have my opportunity to work with some major legends. When I got the call, I was like, wow. As well as my sister's stuff. I've recently started doing gospel music. I didn't think I knew I could do it, but just didn't know I could do it at the caliber that I'm doing it. So her gospel project, of course, the secular. And there's a few names that I can't wait. I can't say them just yet, but a lot of big names that that I've what I'm saying, that I've had the pleasure of standing next to. I will tell you this: I just did a record. Snoop and I just did a record with Eric Sermon.
Oh
And
man,
yeah,
like
and
that's
we have
like top 5 all time, man.
yeah, and
He
we have
double.
yep, and we have Nate Dogg's voice on it as well. So it's incredible.
I
And
know
that's
you got to tell me this. Did he play with the production or y'all produce it together?
the
Because
production is crazy.
I wish I could have been in
The
the studio.
production,
Dog, on
listen, the
that one.
production is crazy. It's a bop. It's a vibe. It's going on. Eric Sermon's project. And I think he got Lil Wayne. He got some of everybody on it. So y'all stay tuned. I'm just waiting to see what do. You know what I mean? But like, he loves me. He always calls on me to jump on projects. He believes in me. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm praying that everything's a major success.
That's what's up, man. Now tell me this: what is some of the best advice that you've been given on your journey so far?
Say something that people will remember. I never forget my boy KP. We were in a session. KP, they were working on one of my sister's projects, and he asked me the same question. He asked it like, "What would you like to do for us?" I said, "I like to." I pointed to the wall. Marvin Gaye was on the wall, and Bob Marley. I said, "I would like to be on the wall." He said, "Well, you got to say something." So that's my journey, to be able to switch gears and say something, because it's so needed in a time where our music has a very low vibration.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We do, we do. It's definitely low vibrations with the music. And another thing that we have to talk about with a lot of artists in Chicago and beyond is how important marketing and promotions are. Now, I've seen you've been doing work everywhere. Can you tell everyone a little bit about how important it is for the marketing promotions, no matter if it's if you're independent or if you're signed to those labels?
Marketing promotion is major. It's major. You know what I mean? You have to be willing to get up. If you really believe in you, you gotta cheer for you. And be able to invest in you. And to me, like, going back to the conversation and the question I was asked about social media, you have a free platform. It's about what you do with it. It's almost like everybody was given a television slot, and it's about what are you gonna do or say to make your slot pop to where people come, and then in the end, you reap the rewards if you are learning the business and becoming a student in order to build a craft and the brand. So marketing and promotion, as well as being able to get on phone calls like we are now with the DJs who still exist and play a major role. Because I remember, and I had to go back to that. I remember before I had a song on the radio, I remember having people stand on tables and chairs to come see me. Before there was American Idol and My Sister Won, and I remember stopping. I had a band in, and we stopped, and I said, my sister gonna be on American Idol, and you can literally hear a rat pissing on cotton. They didn't care. Now, of course, all that switched, but the point that's being made is I was back then I was able to brand and market myself and didn't need radio. I just needed DJs and people who believed. And that's what makes it greater, because when a DJ has it first, they feel more personal. When a fan gets it first, it feels personal. So what happens then? When you guys have it first and the fans go get it first because you marketed and promoted and you didn't stop, you kept going, you kept pushing it, and what happens is now radio or even record execs come because you've built popularity. Now you can name your own price or your own terms because you've put the time in, the equity is put into it.
Yes, that's right, 100%. Now tell us what's next for Ricco Barrino.
Yes.
Just to state the course, honestly, just to state the course. I believe in now. I put words out there. I get on my knees and I pray, and then I let them be where they at and let God manifest them. But just know that don't count me out. There's a lot going. We gonna definitely put more records out. I'm definitely getting stronger. There's no weakness here. There's no one trick ponies or no one hit wonders. Yeah, just look at me. I'm still the new kid on the block. I'm just a crock pot. You know what I mean? Right. In a world full of microwaves.
I like that analogy.
Now I got a quick question before we start wrapping it up. Other than your own music, what do you listen to on maybe a daily basis? Who you rocking right now?
Again, it varies. I still love Lil Baby Future. You know what I'm saying? I still listen to Migos, Moneybagg Yo. I listen to everything new and current. You know what I'm saying? Even the girls who are killing it. You know what I'm saying? But then I get in my mood. I might do a Maverick City. You know what I mean? I might go to gospel. I still may go back. I just have different bags that I go in. And I have faves, but don't have faves, if that makes sense, because I just never know what mood I'm in and what may catch me. I'm always on the lookout for what's new, and just to give them and show them support. You know what I mean? And keep my ears sharp. So you just never really know with me. I could be the biggest hip hop head and then turn around. And and again, it's all about just trying to really like the DJ, just trying to really figure out what's a hit. And we're taking that music that's new and current or fresh and going, what could I do with this? Or where would I fit in? Because that's how I stay current. You feel me? How can my vocal or my wordplay or my, you know what I mean? However, my melodics, how would they fit into something like this? And that's what I spend my time doing.
Man, I know real quick. I gotta ask on this question, man. With so many hits, so many bangers, so many collaborations, how do you choose which songs to put on an album or a set list? How hard is that for you, bro? Or do you just go with what you're promoting at the time?
Yeah, I kind of I have a feeling about things, but I'd like to call in some of our fellow DJs and people and females. And I'll say, okay, I'll let them duke it out. And I feel like as long as they duking it out and it's good and they ain't turning their nose up going, I don't know about it. Then we got some favorites. I rather, you know, we just fight it out until everybody feels like what is a single.
Is there anything or any one thing that you feel like in this music world that you haven't actually accomplished yet?
It's a lot. It's a lot. And it's so, you know, for me, I feel like it's accomplished whenever it's time for me to leave and say goodbye officially. The good thing about me, I have a vocal that I can still be 60 and 70, and you guys are going to sit there with me and enjoy it. All because God blessed me with something that has soul and substance. So until then, I'm just going to, whatever God has for me, I'm going to keep climbing that mountain.
You ride the wave.
Wait, man. Well, check this out. I want you to answer this question, man, from your perspective. You know, why do you think most independent artists give up before they blow up?
It's like the illustration of the gold miner who went in search of gold, and he got just inches before he struck gold, and he decided to give up. It was too much. His wife back at home, you know, he done exhausted all his funds. He ain't got nowhere to sleep, nothing. You know what I'm saying? Right. So he gives up, and then he gives the pick to another artist without them even knowing it, and they come and start picking away, and they straight gold. A lot of times, again, it's about who's in your ear. It's about how far are you willing to go the distance in terms of doing what others want with integrity, without, you know what I'm saying, without selling your soul.
That's right.
And that's a hard thing. Being uncomfortable is hard. You know what I mean? Being broke is hard. So it's all about how you look at it and figure out how to keep inspiration. You start losing that bite. And so for me, I find different forms of inspiration in order to keep that bite. I visualize myself as an older me, and I ask myself, what else would you be doing? What else could you be doing? And I'm going, if it's nothing left but this, if you find yourself always humming or coming up with a new song, burn the boat. That's the only way you win. If you're gonna take the boat to shore and you and your men gonna get off the fight, the war, burn the boat. That way you have no other choice but to win.
Hey, man, I absolutely love it. Because we appreciate that so much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, bro.
For interviews, music news, and entertainment, go to thefleetmag.com.